how rejection trauma keeps you emotionally hooked. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Jess X Goh, and I'm the sole founder of Life in Confidence. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the latest insight into trauma recovery. If you got any nuggets of gold from this video, please give it a like, comment below what you got from it, and share it with your loved ones who need to hear this right now. So you might be thinking, what is rejection trauma and how does this play out in our relational dynamics, in our love life, such as dating, relationships, and marriage? So relationship trauma happens between the age of 4 to 7, and this occurs from the rejection from the opposite sex parent towards the child. Now, this shows up in different ways. It's not as straightforward as it seems. You see, when the opposite sex child is put on a pedestal, they are made to feel special, such as, let's say, a father-daughter dynamic. The father takes the daughter on a date. Let's go to the movies, just you and me. I want you to wear my favorite dress on our movie night. So there's idolization, romanticization, as well as sexualization. How is this shown? Well, the idolization is that you were made to feel special. They even expressed it to you, you are my favorite child, right? So this is idolization. You've been put on a pedestal. This creates problems because when a child is placed on a pedestal, they project this patterning into their relationship dynamics. They expect the opposite sex to idolize and worship them the way that the opposite sex parent did to them, and that's love. However, that's love with conditions. And so when the child feels that special treatment, there's this sense of entitlement. You should be treating me this way. You should be doing this and that. And this is where love with conditions come about, because you expect your partner to operate the way your father or your mum treated you. And that is not realistic. That is idolization. Then you have the romanticization, which is very similar to idolization. So you were groomed romantically at a young age to grow up fast and to be the emotional partner of your parent. And this doesn't create a healthy dynamic at all, because the child has lost their innocence and they had to learn to grow up very fast, to take on responsibilities at a very young age, and to grow up. They feel like they've missed out on having a childhood where they could be innocent. And so they experience sex and relationships at a very young age than they need to be. Then you have the sexualization, such as, I want you to wear my favorite outfit. You look very sexy, or you look very cute, or you look very handsome in this. I want you to wear this more often. See, this is how the programming begins, because the child will do anything to make mommy or daddy happy by following those commands and instructions. And this is how they survive to get love. Because as soon as we feel rejected, we get that backlash that it wasn't safe for you to say no, to be authentic, to truly express your needs and your desires and your emotions by throwing a tantrum, and you get shut down for it. What happens to the child? Emotionally, they're so shut down, they don't feel safe to be in their heart space anymore. And so that's the problem with the unresolved rejection wounding from the opposite sex parent. The coping mechanism here is that you were trained to get and seek love as a game, that love has its conditions, and that you have to protect your heart from not getting hurt again. See how this shows up in dating, relationships, and marriages? I'm going to give you some examples from my real lived experience, how this has played out in my life. You see, in my late 20s, I would get attention from the opposite sex. And of course, this has happened in my early 20s as well. However, this showed in ways where men wanted to court me, date me, ask me out. They wanted to get intimate with me. And I've paid attention to this more in my late 20s because I didn't feel attractive on the inside in my early 20s because I was concerned about my weight back then. And ever since I left the home in my mid 20s, that's when my confidence started to bloom, where I looked after my body and my aesthetics. And I noticed I was starting to get attention. And so there was a part of me that really liked that attention, even though I was not interested in those men who were pursuing me. But it's because I wasn't made to feel special by my dad. And perhaps in my childhood, the little Jess did once upon a time felt special by her dad when there was no chaos and drama in the family home. There was a part of me that missed that father-daughter connection. And there was glimpses of that when I look in the family photo album. And so, the little girl in me loved the attention, but deep down I knew I was just not interested. I was wasting their time. You can see how this works is when it comes to dating, is that men would show me interest, I would show them interest, then I pull back. Then I show them interest, then I pull back. I show interest, then I pull back. And they keep wanting more. And this is great if you want to feel alive by experiencing attraction and polarity through chemistry in this way. However, by playing this game of love as a trap with conditions, well, okay, I'll show you interest if you show me interest in me. Well, I'm going to pull myself back because I'm not that interested in you. Even though I told you, oh, but I'll come back to you again because you're showering me with attention and compliments and you're doing stuff for me that I need help with. So that pull and push effect creates a lot of confusion for the opposite sex who is interested in you or pursuing you, and you're leading them on, such as myself back then, leading them on thinking that I'm still interested in them when I already told them that I'm not, but my actions tell a different story. Until they finally get that a no is a no because I had to turn them down a couple of times. And they finally get it and moved on. And there was a part of me that was missing that attention. And so this creates this love trap. I want the attention, but I don't love them. I'm not interested in them, or I don't like them in that way that I want more from them. And this is the relational dynamics we find ourselves in because of this unresolved rejection trauma. This also shows up in relationships. We do this with our partners as well. When our needs are getting met, we show interest. When our needs are not getting met, we pull back. And so we feel frustrated and confused and conflicted. Why on earth am I committed to this relationship if it's not balanced? And so it can play with your self-esteem and your identity. How am I supposed to show up in this relationship? Why is it that there's this constant confusion in where I stand in this? So if you are struggling with this dynamic, you need to look into resolving and healing the rejection wound that you've been carrying in your heart. And so when I started to work through it in my relationship with my beautiful man, Rob, it wasn't easy. What showed up was this ice queen. The part of me that was so angry and pissed off that I didn't get my way, that he's not giving me what I want, and I push him away. And I shut my heart down and I become very cold and miserable. There is no warmth, there is no life in me. And that was the trauma that I had to work through in order to saviour my relationship with my partner to make things work, because he couldn't handle the constant fragility of my heart and the intensity of my rage, until I was able to break that pattern and go inward and take personal responsibility for that wounding. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. It took a lot of work to have the awareness how this was playing out in my relationship and pushing us apart. So please know that there is a solution to this, and that is through trauma recovery. So if you feel that you are ready to take things to the next level, I invite you to come and join me for my conscious relationship workshop for singles and couples in South Australia. This would be a breakthrough experience that's on offer by navigating your emotional landscape around love with conditions that has showed up with your current or past lovers that are linked with your parental arrangements around love, and how you can rise in love from the balance masculine and feminine. There will be conscious communication, conscious lovemaking, and a love healing chamber for you to be fully witnessed, seen, and felt in your true essence of a healthy masculine and feminine being that you are. So if you'd like to learn more, please click on the link below, and to also book your spot or a free clarity call to see if this is right for you. I am also running my Magnetic Woman workshop and Transforming Trauma workshop and retreats in South Australia as well. So that's something that you might be interested in checking out or attending to. And if you can't join me in person, then I am running my Winter Solstice Ancestral Trauma Clearing Circle that is coming up via Zoom, or you can join me for the replay to access for 1 month and to clear these relational patterns that we have inherited from our parents and their parents, and clear the soul contracts and the karmic burdens there. This is a very potent portal to be a part of, as I receive a lot of positive feedback and massive shifts when people join me for this online container. And I also have my inner child healing course, Transform Wombs into Wisdom, for you to bring fractured versions of yourself back into wholeness and integration. And this will help you to strengthen your relationship with love from within. And you can find the details there as well. If you prefer to work with me one-to-one, whether it's online or face-to-face, you can watch my free webinar, Overcome the Impacts of Childhood Traumas, in 3 months. And we can then have a call to see if we're a good fit to work together privately and to make the experience more tailored to your needs and concerns, as well as your outcomes. So there you have it, my love. What will you do today and every single day, and if not every single breathing moment of your life, for you to fully show up for love in its full form?